Hello and welcome to another episode of the Full Force Weekly, brought to you by Generals Joe's REBORN.com with me, Christopher McLeod AKA Diagnostik80. For today's episode, I'm joined by the awesome Patrick Notpicard Stewart. In this regular video series, we round up all the week's news in the world of G.I. Joe. What is it, Pat?
It's a Full Force Weekly.
That was aggressive. I like it. I like it a lot. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Full Force Weekly. On this fine Saturday morning, Pat and I have been absolutely lolling it up before we joined. Thanks to everyone in the comments already. There's like a trillion of you. I will start off before we get into how are you and all that crap. Before we start off, just a quick note to say apologies to those that are waiting for myself and Carson to go live yesterday. Unforeseen circumstances popped up and we had to cancel or postpone. So we'll be speaking to Carson probably next week. Just wanted to let those of you who are waiting going, where is this live happening? I did make a comment on the YouTube video that was kind of up at the time, but I'm not sure if everyone saw it. But just to let you know, apologies for that. Hello, everyone in the chat. Pat, how are you doing, my good man?
Doing really well. We've had an exciting G.I. Joe week.
Yeah, we have. We really, really have.
Yeah.
So much so that you're wearing your Starcom t-shirt.
That's very true.
Show it off to everyone. Look at that beauty, isn't it? Yeah, Pat, you can thank me for that one. And also, I'm rocking Xandar today. You know us. You've got to say it in the deepest voice possible as well, that quote. You know us. Anyway, morning, everyone. There's loads of people in the chat. This is brilliant. Yes, it has been an amazing week. Before we get into the news, though, Pat, let's just throw a quick shout out, a little early shout out to Brian Sauer for developing our new graphics for the Summer Weekly. Yes, guys, we went. I've been kind of teasing it for ages, actually, saying like, you should guess who it should be, what the theme's going to be. And Brian said to me, I've got an idea. Let's do Chuckles with it being summer. And I was like, that is absolutely genius. So that's why we've got this beautiful pastel Hawaiian shirt-based graphics today. What do you think about them, Pat? You like them?
I think that we've been in a Chuckles kind of mood for a while now. Yeah, I would hope that we'll see Chuckles sometime soon in the retail line. It'd be fun.
Well, considering what we dropped the Marauders deco, and then shortly afterwards, I think the Sarge was revealed. So who knows? You never know, do you? I'm just putting it out there. We don't know, by the way. I'm just putting it out there into the ether. Hasbro, you know what to do. Mum's on the show. Hi, Mum.
Hello.
2 hearts as well, both for Pat. Always for Pat. Anyway, get well soon, Mum. We'll be speaking. We'll be shouting you out at the end, so pay attention. You've only got like about an hour and a half to wait. Pat, let's get stuck into the news then, shall we, bud? Because it has been an impressive week in terms of G.I. Joe news. I suppose we'll start with a bit of Target news, yeah? You up for that?
Yep. Yeah, sounds good.
The Target exclusive Tiger Force Duke with Ram pre-order appeared as if by magic on Thursday the 7th of July at 1 PM Eastern on Hasbro Pulse. For a short period it opened to premium members, and then shortly after selling out there it ended up on Target Online. Hasbro Pulse had it up for $44.99, whilst Target opted for the slightly cheaper $41.99 option, which you can still pre-order right now, link in the description. The figure is slated for a January 1st 2023 release date, and if you had been one of our SAS or Red Shadow Army patrons, then you would have known about this particular pre-order date and time well in advance. But isn't it nice to get another classified figure and bike, even if we have sort of seen them before?
Yes, it is. This was a bit like, obviously it was a surprise to the majority. We did, thankfully, like I say, we are privy to some information. We did know that the pre-order was coming, and on what day. But having said that, still nice to see, isn't it, Pat? Kind of come through and like kind of surprise us in the week where we've already been pretty spoiled.
Yeah, we've kind of gotten very used to all of the pre-orders happening right after somebody from Hasbro has spoken with us, not them just kind of popping up midweek. But yeah, no, it's good to get this one out there. It wasn't too crazy to get it either. So
link in the description if you haven't got it yet, guys, as well on Target Online. Obviously, it's sold out on Hasbro Pulse for premium members. Very, very. It's like I think it was up there for half an hour which is actually quite a long time for a kind of partner exclusive to be up on Pulse, isn't it?
Yeah, that actually is a really long time. Usually they're for just for members, they last maybe 5 minutes sometimes. So this one seems to have lasted quite a while. It kind of gives me a feeling that maybe you'll have an easy time getting this one at retail, but I pre-ordered it on Target's website.
Yeah, I did jump in on this one, obviously, because it's Tiger Force and, you know, it's a G.I. Joe item. So, of course, that's happening. I'm seeing lots of chat in the comments, but it's basically Mom chatting with everyone else in the comments. So that's brilliant. I love how involved you are, Mom. It's great. Also, shout out to Dad as well. I'll give you proper shout outs at the end. Don't you worry. Right then. Okay, well, I mean, there's not much else to really talk about other than look at the beautiful pictures. But yeah, he's going to be, I think, January the 1st, 2023 is when it's kind of slated to, like, you know, be kind of arriving. That does actually, the more I think about that, the further away it feels. Do you think that's more of a worst case scenario from Hasbro there, or do you think that is probably what we're dealing with on the kind of delays front?
You know what? I don't know. Just because we've been seeing a lot of stuff ship way earlier than the worst case scenario, and it being January, I don't know. I really get the feeling that this thing's probably going to hit at the end of the year, because even pre-COVID, anything that was advertised as something that's supposed to be on shelves in January, you ended up finding it in December or November. That's just kind of how things happened. They were always trying to make sure that they got a few things out at the end of the year.
Yeah.
And quite often for me, anything that was, you know, stated as first quarter, whatever year, I would end up finding that quite often. I can remember on Black Friday, I would walk around and I would always find something. So yeah, I don't know if Target is going to have a street date on this. Do you know if that's going to happen?
Not a clue. I mean, Target usually do, when it says like 1st of January, it's usually then. And then even when that date comes around, they don't allow you to have it.
Yeah.
That's been the case a few times. I think they might have probably, it might be a little bit better this time. But honestly, I don't tend to find a lot of stuff at Targets anyway. I'll either pre-order everything now or get it from the UK. Which is like my go-to now, because it's easier and doesn't cost me like any more necessarily all the time, which is kind of great. But I know that isn't everyone's experience. It would be nice to see these things in stores. I mean, I don't even think I saw Breaker. I know lots of people did see Breaker, and lots of them. But yeah, and also RKW1138, they're saying still available at Hasbro UK. Thank you, RKW.
Yeah, for Breaker, that one actually, he was there. There was a good month where he was on the shelf, like just sitting there available. You could walk in and get one. So near me, he was no problem at all.
Yeah, absolutely. Jeremy says, I'm pumped for this release. Honestly, Duke looks amazing. He actually really does look good in that deco, doesn't he? Like, it's a really solid deco, and quite significantly different to his, you know, his original. Yeah, I agree with that one, bud. I think the Ram looks super sexy as well in that deco. Adam says, knew about the release ahead of time and still didn't get it. Sorry, Adam. I know it's not, you know, it's not always easy for people. I know you're in Canada as well, so that makes it even harder.
Well, maybe he didn't want it. I'm not sure what he's saying there. Did he not get it because he couldn't get in time, or
that's why he's decided to only pick up Tiger Force and Python Patrol in store. If I ever see it at True here in Canada, my way of passively passing on these figures, yeah, because you know you're going to get them at some point anyway.
Yeah, whenever it hit Pulse, I was just like, do I want to pre-order and make a mess of my pre-order lists on Pulse even worse? Because I have a really hard time sifting through what is listed on it.
It's not clear, is it? Because it's like, or it's like the order number and like a couple of other details, but it doesn't actually tell you what it is until you click on it. So
click on it, and if it's not it, then you have to start all over again.
Yeah, if you've gone like a couple of pages. Yeah, if you've gone to skip to like page 4 or something.
Right.
Yeah,
you kind of have to cross-reference your emails to find the order number, and then search through until you find it. It's not easy. So I just kind of want my pre-orders to all be fulfilled and try to add as few as possible as I can in the meantime.
Absolutely. Talking Joe with a little comment on my mum there. Thanks. Thanks, Mark. Chris's mom has got it going on. Brilliant. And mommy, do you enjoy that one? That's great. Right, cool. Sorry, we're doing that thing where it skips all of the comments. I hate that so much. I have put forward that my feedback to the company. RKW1138 says, I hate that the Xamot and Tomax have split release dates. It is a bit weird that, because funnily enough, I'll be shouting them out at the end, but I do have Xamot coming, but Xamot only. And it's like, he's going to be so alone. It's going to be like that time, Pat. Do you remember we had this conversation about G-Force back when we did our we did like a panel on the failed UK membership kind of fan club thing.
Yeah.
And one of the free figures that you get, that I got, was, I think, it was Tomax, wasn't it? I just got Tomax on his own. Having already got Xamot and Tomax, I then had this random Tomax. It was like what, the Crimson Triplets now. So yeah, I kind of feel like Xamot coming on his own is going to be very weird. It's almost going to be like,
or it's going to be kind of like the FSS, where we got one of them, and it was because it was going to be a shattered glass one, so they were only going to give us one of them, and then fans were like, "No, we want the other one," and so they released them. They've been pretty good at making sure that all this stuff stays consistent quality as they've reissued things, though. So yeah. I think that there won't be that issue as there was with the FSS, where the two figures just didn't match by the time.
Yeah, that was a bit odd, wasn't it? There was a lot. Yeah, that was odd, definitely. Matthew says it looks like they are showing up together in Hong Kong with Stalker. Yeah, no. I have seen the whole wave kind of being delivered, but then I think as some sort of weird distribution mess up has happened, hasn't it, at some point somewhere going elsewhere? But yeah, definitely.
Or maybe it's even just for clarity, because I don't know, I could see people getting them confused while fulfilling orders. So it's probably good that they're just doing one and then the other. Yeah, yeah. The Beauty of Gaming says, I can't decide if I want to go in that deep with Classified, as my Joe love was always the Sunbow era, early years of the toy. Sunbow era and early years of toy stuff. But I do love the look of that bike. Still no saddlebags. Arg. Yeah, that is an omission on the bike, isn't it, Pat? Yeah, saddlebags were. I really liked the way that you could actually store things in the 25th one.
Yeah, it'd be nice if, like, I don't know how they could really release something like that other than like some sort of accessory pack. But yeah, that doesn't sound very practical in my head when now I say it out loud. Okay, right then, guys. Let's move on to the big news of the week, and that was obviously in. As he kind of lines it up, taking his time. That was in obvious HasLab news.
Yeah.
Last weekend, Pat and I ummed and erred over what the third HasLab Classified Series HISS tank tier could be, and only a day later, Hasbro revealed a weapon accessory pack featuring an articulated chin cannon, 2 articulated turret blasters, and a female HISS gunner figure with accessories. Of course, the project smashed through yet another goal at 14k, and we all waited with bated breath to see what the 4th tier was going to be. Well, they made us sweat a little, but on Thursday the final tier was revealed as a classic style classified retro cardback Cobra Commander with some fun accessories and that original logo that is so lovingly referred to as Mickey Mouse by the fans. The figure will be unlocked at 16,000 backers and could very well have already reached that goal by the time this pre-recorded video goes out on Saturday morning. Has it yet, Pat?
Not quite. With like 300 some to go, I think.
Well, that's going to happen today, isn't it, basically?
Yeah, we are at 15,662.
That's incredible still. Considering yesterday it was just broken 15,000, which was really cool. So, yeah, it's so, I don't know, I'm getting more and more excited to see when the 16K breaks, if anything else is going to happen. But before we get to that conversation, because we'll do it in stages. Okay. Let's talk about tier 3 first.
Yeah.
Because I did a live on this one and kind of talk through like some of the aspects on it. Now, this is really, really awesome, in my opinion. We get this weapon accessory set and we get a female gunner. What are your thoughts on the direction there in getting, because I mean, a gunner was something we kind of almost expected a little bit at some point, but to do a female figure, that's kind of a cool little twist, isn't it?
Yeah, I was just kind of expecting either the Cobra Trooper or the HISS driver in a new color is really what I was expecting. So yeah, it is nice to see this. I kind of like, really where this makes my mind go is what else may be planned with this figure, because to just to sculpt up a figure and release it only for a HasLab doesn't seem like something that entirely makes sense.
No.
So I kind of am looking at this and wondering if the digital sculpt is close to a different character. You know, could we be getting a lot of different? There's a lot of different options that this may actually also be.
More like kind of like a female Cobra Trooper or something like that, maybe.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know why my brain goes back to the Deke episode with Evie,
the
Range Viper. That's a figure I would like to have. So that's kind of where my brain just keeps on going. But, you know, there's a lot of them from the Sunbow era, like Cadet Deming and things like that would also be cool. There's a lot of stuff that could be done with this. And it doesn't, since it's also being resculpted, probably, it doesn't even have to be Cobra.
That's a nice little idea from Talking Joe there. Possibly a female Crimson Guard.
Yeah,
kind of buck, almost. Yeah, totally. Slave says the female gunner sealed the deal for me. And Talking Joe says if they unlock soon, there will be tears before bedtime. Brilliant. Yeah, cool. Jeremy says I love Tier 3 a lot. Tier 4 don't hate, but didn't want any individual characters aside from maybe Rip It for obvious reasons. I think, yeah, I get what you're saying there, dude. I think it makes sense to me in a weird way. Like we'll get to Tier 4 obviously in a little while, but it does make sense to me. Anyway, let's go through like all the different parts that we get with this particular tier, Pat. We've got I think it was called a HISS. Oh, what do they call it? It's really cute little names for each of the guns, and it's just like a HISS distributor or something like that. Do you know what I mean? Like I can't remember it off the top of my head now. I'm gonna have to look on. I'm gonna have to look on the page. I will get there.
Remember that.
This is great radio. Bear with me for another 3 more minutes while I find it.
While you find that, I will mention that I really like the chin gun because it gives some sort of armament to the driver.
Yeah, chuns, they're called. Chin guns. Yeah, you're right. It's awesome, that. And I love the fact it's articulated too.
Yeah, so that edition is very nice. I think that of these, that's the one that I'm most likely to use. The guns up top, I guess, unless they are some sort of auto aiming thing that can be turned on by the gunner, I kind of visualize him already being her already being busy with the main guns. And then so it's just like using 3 of them. I don't know. This is not what I expected from those peg holes. I don't know.
Yeah.
The additional guns for the gunner, I didn't really need those. They're all right. I'm not complaining. They do look like they actually tilt up and down though too.
Yeah, there's a lot of articulation in those. Look at that.
Yeah.
That, guys, animation on today's show. Gotta love that, right? Yeah, it looks like there's a good bit of movement going on around there, which is brilliant.
I mean,
yeah,
it does
also
make sense because
people are saying in the comments HISSintegrator and the HISSruptor, which is, I love those names. I think they're fantastic.
Are those the actual names of them?
Yeah, the HISSintegrator, to give it its full name, the HISSintegrator cannon and the HISSruptor ZX5 blaster. So the HISSintegrator is the one on the chin, and the HISSruptors are those 2 on the sides, basically the ZX5s.
I guess it makes sense. The large guns could be, to battle vehicles and things like that, and things that are larger, whereas maybe the guns on the side would be more something for shooting at ground forces. So who knows?
Sean says, love the HISS gunner, excited for the eventual repack to army build. What else we got? We've got female HISS gunner was something we speculated on, but I never expected to see it for real. I will never not call her Ripette. Talking Joe says, Laura 36, what's it? Is it 368? I can't remember. I can't remember. Mark, you'll have to tell me. I always forget her name. That the Crimson Guard in the IDW comics currently. Agent Chuckle says, who's going to pop a Baroness head on that gunner body? I think a lot of people, now that you've said that, that's a great idea. That's a ruddy great idea, Agent Chuckles. I've got a Baroness on somewhere around here.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
I'm definitely going to do that.
Kind of wearing the outfit to drive the HISS.
Yeah, like she's like Baroness on that figure and Destro's head on the HISS driver. That'd be kind of fun. I'm doing it. It's happening. The Beauty of Gaming says the digital sculpt shows it's reusing a lot of the same Cobra Trooper design sculpt. Look at shoulders and biceps. Cool. So it could very likely be that we're seeing, like a female Cobra Trooper or something. I'm guessing he's talking about the HISS driver is utilizing some of Cobra Trooper things, and therefore the female gunner, could be doing the same in the opposite direction, Pat.
Yeah, I'm wondering if the torso is a secondary or if that is the actual torso sculpt. I'm guessing it's a secondary because we don't see any sort of joint.
Sorry, I'm just doing the animation for the chin gun while you're talking there. Look. Okay.
Oh, nice.
And that's it all decked out with everything on it. And it does look kind of cool. That's with the retro canopy, the retro track covers, the HISS integrator cannon, the HISSruptor ZX5 blasters on the turret, and the missile launcher racks on the sides as well. Pretty decked out. And then, of course, you've got a driver. You have a gunner. You have a tactician in the back. And you have Cobra Commander riding on the back plate as well. So you've literally got, with this like campaign, a fully decked out HISS tank in two different styles, you could say, with a full complement of figures that could go on it. That's pretty cool, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, we haven't gotten to the last goal there, but I think you may have called the last one, the last year. I'm pretty sure you did.
Yeah, and everyone knows what it is anyway. But yeah, well, let's talk. Yeah, and obviously she gets in terms of the figure as well. We'll have a good close look at the figure. She gets these cool like accessories with the shovel, the long shovel, and the kind of like pickaxe hammer thing, which is pretty dope as well. She gets the MMA gloves, and she also gets the pistol and that knifle, as I like to call it, knife rifle. Cool.
Yeah, those accessories seem like something that is very appropriate for a tank. Like other tanks, you just see a shovel and a pickaxe, mounted on the outside.
Yeah.
HISS never had that, so maybe these would be more appropriate to put in the back of the HISS tank.
Absolutely.
But they make a lot of sense as accessories to include.
Definitely. Like, obviously things like, and maybe is it like a tread tool? Like when there's a tread issue, that's what that kind of hammery thing is.
I don't really know, but that would make a lot of sense for putting
I'm head cannoning it now, aren't I? But yeah, the shovel definitely makes a lot of sense, like digging yourself out of issues and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, absolutely. Rachel Salinas says, I was thinking we could have gotten Cobra Stun style flags for the ports on the sides of the turret. That's actually a really good shout, Rachel. And that's something that we might see, let's talk, we'll talk about tier 4 first, and then we'll get on to what that kind of takes my mind to in what we could maybe see for the rest of the campaign. But that's a really good comment, Rachel. Thank you.
Yeah, I like that idea.
The flags, absolutely brilliant idea, especially with Cobra Commander as well being involved now. It kind of, you'd want to make this HISS like a
command HISS,
or like a ceremonial thing. Like he's driving it. He's driving it like through the streets of Cobra Island while they're all like celebrating and all that kind of stuff. Anonymous Dude 123 says G.I. Joe Fever is palatable in the summer of 2022. Emily and Lenny reignited a monster. I do feel like that's happened, and I think this You're welcome, by the way, Anonymous, saying thanks for the stream. I do feel like the brand is in a very strong place at the moment. And with the HasLab, I feel like there's a big swell of excitement again, Pat. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, for sure. G.I. Joe right now is like crazy popular. It's definitely taking off again, which is nice to see.
Yeah, we want to see more, and we want to see, because obviously when one line, it's that thing that, like, was it a rising tide raises, like, raises all boats.
Right.
I kind of feel like, if Classified can be this popular and show this kind of level, then other lines within the brand might appear. We might
Like
get
the O-ring stuff.
Yeah, O-ring. The O-ring might increase. They're still talking about that. They're still trying to work out a good release strategy for that, and I think a lot of that's got to do with how they've got to change the packaging. But and Emily did say that obviously in the Q&A. But the other thing I'm thinking of is maybe it might develop into some sort of 4-inch modern line again on a smaller scale.
Yeah, that's actually the other thing that I was just going to say, is that a good relaunch of the 4-inch line is something I still am hoping to see at some point.
Definitely. Maybe like a 2-pack of Lightfoot and Downtown to fill some gaps. Just saying. Nelson says, Pat, you're right. The 2 smaller guns would be for personal and manually controlled in a real-world scenario anyhow. So, yeah, in terms of the turret kind of guns, yeah, absolutely. I agree with you on that too. Adam says, G.I. Joe Takeover tier with a Snake Eyes or Roadblock repaint. Haters will hate, chills will rejoice. I hope you're referring to me there, Adam, as a shill. No, I could see a G.I. Joe Takeover, Adam, but you know what? This is my thought process right now, Pat. And see if you agree with me here, mate. We've seen a lot of patterns, haven't we? We've seen Cobra Commander Mickey Mouse logo in the HasLab Sky Striker during a Cobra takeover. I could see with the remaining tiers, and again, I'm jumping the gun a little bit, but I want to say this outright now. I could see them doing a classic Duke as another tier as G.I. Joe infiltrate this HasLab. Do you think that could be a thing?
That could be a thing. The other day I was really thinking about it, and I almost am wondering if it would be setting a difficult precedent to have an unannounced takeover again.
Yeah.
Just because if they do it again on a third HasLab for G.I. Joe, we will be expecting it for sure.
Totally.
Which is hard. But I think that this one has blown so far past expectations that we're going to probably have about a month of nothing to talk about other than what number it's at. Because it's going to hit its 4th tier. And then we're just going to be sitting here waiting for the thing to end.
Yeah, sorry, Phoebe wanted to join me. She's enjoying your chat there, Pat, about how the HasLab's doing in terms of numbers, aren't you, Phoebes?
Even Phoebe's excited about the HISS tank.
Are you excited for the HISS tank, sweetheart? Yeah, brilliant. Let me know in the comments just how gorgeous this beautiful little creature is. Do you like a little? I've got a little mohawk, a little Zartan Ninja Force mohawk going on at the moment. Yeah,
she's also got the beard from somebody going on.
From any of the G.I. Joe shows with beards. It's Outback, isn't it? Phoebe is Outback. Outback is Phoebe. Amazing. Okay, so let's move on then. Obviously to HasLab Tier 4. The unlock was Cobra Commander. This was a really cool one for me, and I absolutely have to say I was surprised and not surprised at the same time, Pat, but I think the execution's really good on this one. What are your thoughts?
Well, I think that somebody said this while I was talking with somebody about Tier 4, that it could be Cobra Commander because on the original package of the HISS, there's a Cobra Commander on there, a classic one, and it kind of makes sense then to include him with the project. And it's Cobra Commander. We know that we're going to continue getting Cobra Commander at retail. So having this mold created for the HISS tank makes a lot of sense. I think it makes sense to include him in blue, since on the package he was in blue. But I could have also seen them doing a different color as a special release with this in order to hold back for one to go to retail.
Yeah.
Seeing how similar this one is, to version 1 Cobra Commander makes me wonder how they may be planning on reusing this, because I don't know. I think they probably could get away with just releasing it in a package and giving him a couple different accessories or something, and having his regular logo on him. I don't know, maybe the cape and scepter.
That's a good shout. You could do a deluxe Cobra Commander, couldn't you? And yeah, you could add cape, you can add the accessories he's got here, but then obviously other accessories like from, you know, other kind of like homages from the comics or the cartoons or something.
Yeah, well, they could leave the globe specific to this release. They could even probably leave the backpack. As much as I do like that and would want it in future releases, they probably could leave that. Yeah. And just do, you know, what he had in G.I. Joe the movie as a different release. There's a lot of things that they could do and still use this mold in a retail scenario.
I think a cape's a good shout, because you could take that off and you still got your classic Cobra Commander with the revised logo and so on and so forth.
We've also talked Trouble Bubble a few times. That's also a possibility.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Funny enough, before this was revealed, Pat, we were talking, weren't we, offline about what Tier 4 could actually be. And one thing that came up in our group chat was how cool it would be for a Battle Armor Cobra Commander to be done.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that, I think, would be an absolute, like, that would be like a home run of a figure, wouldn't it?
Yeah, well, we've talked about this a few times before, too, that once the most classic thing has been done, that opens the doors for other things. And Battle Armor Cobra Commander, he's kind of underappreciated. That one's, it's from 1987. It's still pretty early in the run. I think that one is a very classic Cobra Commander. And aside from, well, I guess we got 2 releases of it if you include the Fred the 7th in the 25th anniversary run. But it's not the Cobra Commander version that is visited all that often. And I would like to see that done, you know, in the modern run, because what would that look like? What do you suppose the details?
It would be outstanding, wouldn't it, at classified scale? I would love that so much. And then also you could do, like, there was a red one that was done, wasn't there, in that kind of ceremonial pack ages ago?
Well, with the that was actually the it was reused, but it was reused for the guards that were in that.
Oh, that was it. You're right. Yeah, that's right. Did they do a red version of that, or have I just made that up? Was that the only time they've used that?
I think that's the only time that I've seen customs. I've seen plenty of customs of it in red.
What's
there's the blue one from Toys R Us.
Blue, thank you.
Dark blue, yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, there's repaint potential is what I'm getting at there, basically. But yeah, I would absolutely love them to do that kind of version of Cobra Commander more than any version, I think, that's out there. Plus, you could do an alternate head, couldn't you, and have a Fred head to go with it, which would be great. Because, you know, obviously, in the comics, it wasn't Cobra Commander for a large majority. I don't even think, does he even wear that as Cobra Commander?
I don't think so, because that's one of my favorite moments of the comic book, is whenever that suit is introduced and he's just kind of like, you know what? I've got a guy dressed like a bird. I've got this going on. This whole organization isn't what I planned. It's ridiculous. I'm done. Yeah. So it was one of the better moments. And I don't really remember him. I don't remember the actual Cobra Commander, the original person, wearing it in the comics. I don't remember that.
No, I don't think he did, honestly. Let's know in the comments if that is the case. Agent Chuckle says, I really like the wallpaper for the stream today. Can't put my finger on why, lols. Kitchen Ninja says, do you think 2 figures would fit in the gun turret? Probably. I think so.
Maybe.
It's a pretty big thing. I think maybe. We'll have to ask. Maybe back to back, crushed up against the front, and literally butt to butt, like tight. Sorry, I don't know why I'm saying it like that. Jeremy says, stun flags will definitely be made by 3D printer guys. The community will definitely come up with cool HISS add-ons. Absolutely.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing. I think that would be cool. I also think that whenever they, like, if we're doing other vehicles and other things like that, like if Hasbro gets us to that point where there's a couple of other things, because this definitely seems to open the door for that. If there are flags and things to be added, it would be nice if they kind of looked at that size that they're using on that and made it not universal, but whenever possible, use that same size in order to have some cross compatibility of things. So if there ever is a stun, I don't think that's ever going to happen, but if there ever is a stun, it would be nice to have the flags be removable and be that size. I think that's a great idea.
Totally. Accessories that he comes with, obviously we talked about the world snake, which is a really cute little addition from the commercial. We've got the knife he's going to come with, and multiple hands ×4, so pointy, punchy, pointy, 2-fisty, and 1 open grippy. That's cool. And then obviously the backpack and the gun. Now this is a nice new kind of design for the backpack and gun, isn't it? It's quite an interesting design, isn't it? Would you say?
Yeah, I kind of liked the way the version 1 was just like a charging station, and it kind of looked like it plugged in to the power pack. This will definitely help keep the accessory on his back, though, because sometimes that could be an issue.
That is a problem in general with the backpacks on Classified, I find. After a while, they do get a bit loose. Sometimes they're loose from the start, and sometimes like you get like a couple of uses out of them, and then they really start to kind of like, you know, slowly kind of pop off. I think that's one thing that they could...
heavy though.
Yeah. That'll stay on, no worries. I wouldn't have a problem with that probably. But yeah, I think if you were just plugging the gun in, there'd be probably a moment at some point where it would just go blip.
Yeah, I'm wondering with the straps though, because it looks like it's not just the backpack, it's also the sculpted straps, right?
I believe so, yeah.
So I wonder how that's going to work. Like if the straps on his back will come off first in order to have those plug in to make sure that it stays on, or if maybe that's just the drawing, because in the pencil drawings down there, those aren't there.
I wouldn't be surprised if they haven't figured it out yet.
Yeah, you're probably right.
I wouldn't be surprised if that is just, you know, literally them kind of like almost brainstorming that whole scenario to see if it works.
Yeah.
But yeah. Okay. Jeremy says, Joe Takeover, give us Flint disguised as a Cobra Blue shirt. Talking Joe says, go big on 4-inch with some new figs like Dawn and hashtag Full Force Monthly, because we did that episode with Mark last week. You can check that out. Last month now, technically. Anonymous Dude 123, I'm watching the cartoon again and Toys That Made Us G.I. Joe. Yeah, it gets you in the mood, doesn't it, to watch all that stuff again. I do not have that cartoon not playing at some point in the background. It's always on at the moment. Legendary Toys, do you think they will release the retro Cobra Commander in Classified but with the black suit colors? Because I can't see them not using that tooling again. Such a classic main character and looks great. Legendary Toys, I expect them to use that. Personally, I expect them to use it for a regular logo version, a dark blue version, a black version, a red version. They're going to milk that tooling for all it's worth. Do not worry about that. We'll get a regular Cobra Commander in the main line in that style. Definitely. It's almost inevitable, isn't it, Pat?
Yeah, I think so. I think that it's even just nice that the HISS tank is getting the treatment of getting the first reveal of the new figure.
Yeah.
Because this, I could kind of see this being a figure we were going to get anyway, but to include like an earlier one with the HISS tank is going to be nice.
Totally.
Although, who knows, the timing of these things, we could end up with a Cobra Commander in hand prior to this tank. Who knows?
Exactly. That's another good point, because obviously it's going to take a while to get this all tooled and done and made and then delivered. Yeah, we've got a long time ahead of us, I think, on this one. Luc Poulon says, or a classic Hawk to fight Destro at the back of the HISS. Yeah, absolutely.
See, that's what I want out of a 4-inch new HISS. I would love to have and seeing the success of a HISS, maybe give it another year and give us a HasLab of a brand new HISS tank to relaunch a modern 4-inch line and have it have Hawk and Destro fighting in the back of it. I would absolutely love that. Like in my mind, the way to update the 4-inch HISS tank would be to make it be the double canopy in front, like in the comic or some of the cartoon, and then put that space in the back that could be used for other things, like them to fight in the back of it, or put another set of cannons for that command HISS.
Absolutely.
From Sunbow. Yeah, for sure. I agree.
Jeremy says, cute puppy. Absolutely. Matthew Matson says, puppy with lots of hearts. Thank you, guys. X Factor 17 says there definitely should be additional tiers added, but I'm not interested in another Duke as one of them. I think, yeah, like there might be Duke fatigue X Factor 17. What I'm just looking at it from a kind of practical point of view. Like we've had Duke now technically 3 times, because we've had him the original, we've had the field variant, and we've had the Tiger Force version. But I think a classic one was one that was, I think a lot of people expected the classic one as the Tiger Force Duke, or would have, like, you know, been cool with that. I just feel like from a Hasbro perspective, that could be something that they do as a stretch. Yeah, but like it might not happen. And I know that obviously there's some people are going to be like tired of Duke, and I know, you know, we do get a lot of Dukes in general.
I like the undercover Flint idea. They could use the head and put it on a Cobra Trooper body, or give us something relatively new. It's not a bad idea at all.
That is a good point, Justin. A few of you have mentioned this, actually, not just Justin, but a lot of you have mentioned this. The original takeover was to get the numbers going on the Sky Striker as it kind of started to stall, and that was the case, wasn't it? There was like a little period, wasn't there, where it kind of like just wasn't moving, and we were all a little bit like waiting for the last few days to see if it kind of picked up. And then with the takeover, that kind of bumped it up, and then with the I would say with the Rancor failing, the next day it just went absolutely ballistic. So yeah, who knows? I think a lot of people are right though in that scenario, that you really want to do something like that when the project is kind of really not doing anything, or it's like people have kind of like lost interest, or they're, you know, not quite on board yet with something. Do you know what I mean? Like they're not quite like, you know,
like maybe one of those first numbers come out and they weren't so good. Maybe they needed to just reevaluate what the offer was and sweeten the deal in order to try to kind of negotiate with the massive fans. But in this case, they really just don't need to.
Yeah.
So to be honest, if we get to the end and we get anything additional added, I probably will be happy. Like the Rancor, it did kind of have some bonuses that were not great.
Yeah.
But anything even of that quality, since we're not really being promised anything as far as additional tiers go, even if we get something that's similar to the stuff that was the actual tiers for the Rancor at the end, I think that'd be cool. Like
like kind of like blast effects
or blast effects.
Blast effects, or like little accessories to go with it.
You're right. It doesn't need to be an entire figure or a takeover or anything big like that. Just something at the end to have us have something to talk about and to have a little bit more excitement right before it's over.
The T-shirt that they were wearing on the stream, something cute like that. Like again, they don't need to do that, but there's definitely scope for other little things. But I think, you know, this is the problem that we're facing. You give us more, and we get to that point, and then it's like, okay, what's next? Do you know what I mean? Like everyone does it, like whether they want to or not. You know, I don't want to be greedy, but now I'm looking at it like we've got 38 something days left. It's going to be like, you know, it's going to be pretty barren if, you know, we hit 16, we hit 18, we hit 20. I could see it doing really good numbers and then just going, okay, well, let's throw something else in there. It doesn't have to be a takeover. It doesn't have to be a figure. But, you know, like there was a talk of blast effects on the stream by Lenny.
Yeah.
So I've got a feeling that some of the tiers were moved around and changed a little bit. Like I had a thought that maybe originally the H.I.S.S gunner was going to be the 4th tier, and the 3rd tier was going to be a weapon accessory set with the guns and maybe blast effects. And then they probably looked at it and thought, you know what? Let's change it a bit. Let's put the figure with this side of the accessory set. Let's reveal Cobra Commander, but do like a, you know, like a presentation input drawing or something, or knock something up for it, and then we'll maybe revisit some of those other things in the future.
Yeah, that's entirely possible. I didn't really think that we needed to have all those other accessories revealed with a figure, you know. No. So having that be a tier together was a larger tier than what I was really expecting.
Yeah, definitely. Tier 5 Cobra logo treats for Phoebe. I'll see. I think Phoebe's up for that, Ed. I don't think anyone else would be. Could you imagine if that was if that actually happened, and they called out Phoebe on the thing, and everyone's just like, "What?" Like most of the people backing it wouldn't even know what what was going on because they don't watch the show. That would be hilarious, actually. Let's do that. Christopher, one of our newest patrons. Thank you, Christopher, as well. And also shout out to your amazing guinea pigs, Zorana, Baroness, Scarlet, and what's the other? I'm blanking. Is it Lady J? Let me know. I've completely forgotten. Sorry. I know you mentioned them. They're absolutely adorable. Sent me pictures of them. They're absolutely adorable. They have what? They have different cages. One's called the Terradrome, and the other one's called the Pit. It's amazing. G.I. Joe HQ. Absolutely amazing, Chris. And yeah, big shout out to you and your lovely guinea pigs. They are amazing. Agent Chuckles, I think Coco will get released in a Skittles bag full of colours. Absolutely. There's no way we're not getting more of these Cobra Commanders, guys. Not a chance. Ritz says they did show Duke escaping from the hiss from the mass device in the promotional video, so Chris could be right. I love it when people say that, Ritz. That last bit, especially. Yeah, possibly. It's just a thought from like seeing patterns, basically. What else we got? Loads of comments I haven't got to. I would love to, Christopher Kelly, I would love to see some basic repaints that make sense as Pulse or fan channel exclusives, like the Transformers Generation Selects line, like a Starduster, Quarrel, Z-Force Jammer, Gaucho, etc. Christopher, that would be outstanding.
Oh, yeah, we haven't talked about the most obvious repaint then of this Cobra Commander sculpt.
Red
laser.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. That would be really
Let's
cool.
Put that in there somewhere. I still think that this thing is successful enough, and it's big. Like, I don't think it makes sense to release this and then just do it in red at Walmart. That would not be something that would happen. But I do think that people would want a red HISS tank. So not the next HasLab. That would be kind of boring to just be like a second HISS tank. But, you know, maybe a couple of them from now for people who missed out on this one, release it in red and, you know, give us a Tobal and give us Red Jackal and Red Laser.
Neil says,
okay. We met. Yes, I remember meeting you.
I want more details, Neil.
We were washing our hands. I was.
Each other's hands. That's really adorable.
No.
Oh, okay. That would have been funny, wouldn't it? If you just like, why are you washing my hands? I don't know. Nice to meet you.
And if one person decides to wash the other's hands, and I guess you're both hands are being washed at the same time.
Yeah. Just don't breathe on each other. You'll be fine. Toy Bounty Hunter says, I wonder if the faceplate is vac metal.
Good question.
Yeah, it's a good question. Good point. Maybe we can ask that on because I'm trying to sort out.
That's a good question to kind of tuck away and ask if there's a chance.
Yeah, I'll note that one, Toy Bounty Hunter. Yeah, we are looking to try and get an interview inside the HasLab process kind of campaign where we speak to Emily and Lenny again. We'll let you know if and when that gets organized. The groundwork has been laid to, you know, that's what we do. But we'll let you know if we even find out beforehand. Everyone kind of agreeing really on the... Hi, Joe, by the way. Everyone really agreeing on the idea behind why the Sky Striker did get the Cobra takeover. That's totally cool. Yes, we know that Skydro Walker, that Battle Armor Coco isn't Coco, it's Fred. We're aware of that. That's why we kind of discussed the Fred alternate head sculpt and all that kind of stuff. But it's still a figure, and it's still technically Cobra Commander.
Yeah, and actually, in the cartoon in Deke, I really associate that figure with the Python Patrol because of Operation Dragonfire. So in a lot of ways, that is the Cobra Commander that was for 2 seasons of the cartoon.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a very good point. So yeah, if you're talking about the comics, then obviously you're correct. But you know, the other thing is he has technically been Cobra Commander in that costume, which is great. Okay, right. We're kind of coming to the end now a bit here, guys. So I'm trying to get to everyone's comments. I know it's difficult because there's so many of them, and that's great. Keep them coming. Oh, Talking Joe says first appearance of the suit. Is it Cobra Commander in the Pogo? I would imagine the figure came out at the same time as the vehicle. Was that not the case, Pat?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't remember. I think so. I think they
check.
probably did. 1987 is weird because in my mind, there's always been like two halves to 1987. Like I think of the movie stuff, but then there's also like Outback and Cobra Commander, and it's weird to me. It's still weird to me to be kind of writing out Cobra Commander in the movie in the year that you're making a new Cobra Commander.
Yeah, it's like pick a lane, guys.
Yeah, it's very strange.
Yeah, I mean, he was out in '87. The vehicle, I think, was out the same year anyway. But yeah, he obviously is on the Cobra Pogo artwork, and that's why I want a Cobra Pogo. By the way, I also want a Cobra Pogo with him because that would be it was same year. So they
I don't think there's much chance of a Cobra Pogo.
That would be so. Everyone would hate it as well, wouldn't they? Like all the fans would literally explode at a Cobra Pogo. But I don't know. I think it would be hilarious with Cobra Command. Well, with Fred. Let's just say Fred, just to calm everyone down. Christopher Goslant says he tried the armor on, but Coco never got to use it in the comics, just to kind of make that clear.
Okay.
Neil Hill says, Chris, any reason for the Chuckles background? Yes, I did mention at the beginning, Brian Sauer, it was his idea to do Chuckles theme for summer because we change our graphics through the seasons. We have winter graphics, we have autumn graphics, we have spring graphics, we have summer, etc., etc. We change it for that theme, and Chuckles just seemed like an absolutely perfect timing theme, not just for the fact that it's summer and he wears a Hawaiian shirt, but also the fact that he's throws a missile from a Havoc at a HISS tank. So there you go. I'm not going to start saying that he's going to be the next stretch goal because we don't know. We don't know what the next tier is going to be.
But Chuckles would be amazing in the 6-inch line. I think that shirt would be a nice blank canvas for them to do whatever they wanted on additional colors of it.
Oh my God. Could you imagine as well he comes with his accessory loadout is one single Havoc missile.
Then everyone would want the Havoc to go with it. They'd be like, this is a hint. We're getting a Havoc.
We're getting a Havoc. We're getting a flag. Amazing. Anyway. Sammy says, as it's only a drawing and not a digital render, do you think this may be a placeholder for Tier 4 and they might be saving something for a larger final stretch goal at a more ambitious back account? I don't think it's a placeholder for Tier 4. I think it's based on time. They've probably changed tack with how successful the project's been, and they've rearranged the tiers, is what I will say. Because I think when you're starting to get that kind of response and that kind of money in, I think they can start to do new tooled figures. They can do that within the HasLab project. So it's given them the opportunity to do it, and they've taken that advantage to do it. I don't, if it continues to do better and better, I see them doing other things as well. I see them going a bit further with it. But we'll only find out if the campaign does explode even more.
Yeah, I'm sure that what we're looking at is probably all the farther it is in development. Like they probably don't have a digital sculpt yet at all. So these would be the inputs, and that's probably all they have to show us. And there's probably plenty of time to get this done in time for the shipping of the set. Absolutely.
Thanks, Agent Chuckles, for that comment. You might say the wallpaper made me chuckle. Brilliant. Diecast Nick just pulled into a service station on the M5 UK to comment. I've avoided classified so far, but I backed the HISS and now just picked up 2 classified figures in Forbidden Planet. They got me in the end, mate. This is the thing, Pat. We've discussed this in the past, haven't we? Like you're not like a big 6-inch kind of collector, but the figures have done so well that it kind of drew you in, didn't it?
Yeah, that's right. Financially, it's nice to sometimes have a little bit of a rest.
Yeah.
And to not be going after all this stuff. But I'm really just not into the 6-inch thing. What I want is 4-inch figures. Those are the ones that really get me going. Because that's what the bulk of my collection is. Whenever I'm adding something, it feels like it's kind of opposite of diminishing marginal utility. Like,
I like that comment. Jeez.
As more of them are made, I have a greater use for them, and so that's the weird collecting insanity that I have.
There's nothing worse, is there, than start getting into a line that has like 2 figures and then that's it. They don't do anymore. Like it collapses, or that's all they do. Yeah, I agree with you, mate. Like once you start getting like once I started seeing the Mattel Master of the Universe Classic line doing what it was doing, I started to get regret that I didn't jump in early on. Because by the end of that, it was absolutely phenomenal. You had like over 300 characters or something crazy. It was unbelievable. But no, I definitely agree with that, Pat. And it's definitely the collector mentality, isn't it? On show there.
Yeah, it's you should have less use for things as you get more of them. But for some reason, sometimes with toys, and I see this with army builders too, it's like, well, now that I have 3, this is a really good army builder to have. Maybe 5, oh, they look good. It's going to look even better once it's 10.
Yeah,
I'm sure that does nosedive once the reality of space hits in.
Yeah,
you know, the truth of diminishing marginal utility is still a rule, but there's a moment where you're getting more, and more means that you want even more. And for me, that's 4-inch. 6-inch just is not the scale that I really want. And a lot of these figures, when I look at them, I'm like, wow, that would be a really cool figure to have in 4-inch scale. That's what my thought is on them.
I know.
But they're done so well. I like them.
Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? Like that. Yeah, and I totally understand where you're coming from there. I think I got the bug getting into Black Series, and then when I would get like Marvel Legends as well here and there, and that got me into that kind of like, I'm definitely not like a 6-inch collector. I just generally collect what I like, and that just unfortunately happens to be frigging everything all the time. So it's not the best.
Yeah, I wasn't really all that crazy about a lot of the 6-inch stuff until maybe Guardians of the Galaxy 2. That was the first time I looked at some 6-inch figures and was like, wow, those look really nice and really.
Is that when they started improving the face technology and stuff like that?
It was, yeah.
It was around Thor, wasn't it? One of the Thor movies as well. I think they did that first. And then, by the time that Guardians of the Galaxy line came out, they'd really done well with their face printing. Agent Chuckle says, is it possible this was originally meant for the Walmart Retro? Well, I can confirm, Agent Chuckles, that Cobra Commander wasn't in that first, 8, shall we say, figures. I can confirm that he wasn't in that first 8. I can't confirm, however, that they didn't have plans to do a Cobra Commander, in the future, obviously before plans changed and they changed packaging and they've gone a different route. And now they're going to finish on those 8 figures. But I can, without a shadow of a doubt, confirm that Cobra Commander wasn't within that 8 figures. I hope that helps in some way, shape, or form to answer that question. Talking Joe, aka Mark, says, why does Cobra Commander need a hairdryer anyway? His hair is never on display. Good point.
It's always under that helmet, so it's just very warm in there and sweaty. So yes, in the few moments that he takes it off, then
he's got to keep it. He's got to keep it. He's got to give it body. Mark. Jeffrey says it would be great if they made the backpacks more realistic with actual straps and pockets. I think that would be really cool, actually. Like they were doing some fun stuff with, like Firefly's backpack and Lady J's backpack, where you could kind of store a lot of kind of items. But I agree with you to kind of have a flap come up, because they've done that in the 4-inch line. So there's no reason, other than costing, there's no reason that you couldn't do it, physically do it at a 6-inch scale. But I see I can see where they've made sacrifices to improve other areas, basically, within the budget that they're working in. That's all I'm going to say, Jeffrey, on that one, because that's effectively the reality of it. Some things are sacrificed. But also the
straps. If they had straps to hold them on their shoulders, then they would be less likely to sag and fall out.
Agreed. I would like
getting that over things, though, can be difficult, and sometimes the reuse potential of a sculpted backpack, if it's made specifically for the bulk of one character's chest, doesn't really work out. So maybe that's also part of their thinking.
I would think it would be easier, right, to have the backpack connect to the secondary rather than his back. So the secondary, with all the straps attached to the belt, with the backpack straps on it as well. Like, I'm looking at back in particular. Like, if they made it so the backpack attached physically to the secondary, like in a good, secure way, then you don't have to worry about it falling off the back, and it kind of sits and hangs in the same place. Like, maybe I think the pole is there to keep it like in the same like line each time, but I think the secondary would have the same effect, especially.
Well, how do you mean that it would actually connect to the secondary?
Well, I don't know how
like,
it would. That would have to be worked out.
Something?
That would have to be worked out. But like, you could definitely have it so that it would come off as a backpack, but the secondary straps would stay on, and it didn't have to inside.
Oh, okay.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like to keep it kind of more secure, you could have flaps or like straps or whatever. I don't know how it would. They'd have to like re-engineer something though. That's the other problem, isn't it? It's not as easy as saying that they could do this. Other things would have to kind of, happen as well.
Yeah, I think they still want to keep it relatively universal too, so that you can actually be playing with them and have Outback wear Duke's backpack if that fits what you're doing.
Yeah, totally. Okay. Right. Okay. Well, sorry guys, we're gonna have to move on because we are coming to the end of the show now. But thank you so much for all your comments. I do try to get to everything, but it is really hard to get to comments, answer questions, and also have discussion between us. So I hope you don't feel like I'm missing you out on purpose. It's just not the case. I try to get to everybody. Trust me. Also, if you want to like, funny point there, Adam Drake. That Pat is on the show. I don't see Naked HD anywhere. Good point there, Adam. But I wonder if he did back the HISS. We'll have to ask them. Pat's going to quickly like try and type a comment now as Naked HD while he's on the show. See, it's not me. Anyway, that's the end of the news. My God, we've talked for ages on two things there, Pat. We are the best at that, aren't we? We genuinely are the best at that.
Yeah, less to talk about. We draw it out. It happens.
It's amazing. Right,
still a shorter episode this week, but there wasn't a lot of news. There was just exciting news.
I know, and lots of speculation that we can talk about as well, which is great. Yeah. And we love our speculation on the full force. Anyway, guys, let's move in now to shout-outs. But before we do, a quick word from Hoarder, from me technically.
Hey there guys, just wanted to let you know about an app that I've been helping to develop for a few years now called Hoarder. But what is Hoarder, I hear you scream? Well, a number of years ago I discussed a project with a good friend of mine and now co-owner/developer about an app that could help collectors of all shapes and sizes. I'm talking about the shapes and sizes of the collections really, but also people. The app would be a place where you could share your new items, build collections and sub-collections, or just browse the feed to see cool things. Well, we made it. We tested it for a number of years, and now it's out there for you to enjoy on iOS or Android devices. You can upload a single item at a time at your own pace and slowly build your collections. You can post status updates that could be related to your collections, like getting a delivery or posting a scene in which you can tag items in that image if you've uploaded them in the past. You can add tags to your items in order to easily search for and find them, and of course to add them into your respective collections. You can like posts, comment on them, or start a conversation with a fellow collector, directly message users you follow, and even add items you see on your feed to your want list. If you prefer to use your computer or laptop, have no fear, you can use the website browser version and even utilise the awesome inventory option, allowing any user to change certain details, add notes, upload bulk items from spreadsheet files, and download a CSV of your entire itemised collection. We made this app for collectors, and we hope that you enjoy using it as much as we enjoyed creating it. Now get to hoarding.
Yes, indeed, get to hoarding. I've just been putting Outback images up on it yesterday, which are great. And I'll talk about that in a little while as well. So, Pat, shout-outs, buddy. Let you go first, mate. Who have you got on your shout-outs list?
I'm going to guess that it's Philip as my first shout-out. Yes. Shout-out to Philip, who was so dedicated to the figure he's holding in this picture that I believe he bought a second one to repair that ankle that he broke while making this video.
Old ham hands Phil. Ham hands Donnelly busting feet left, right, and centre.
I think that there was something about the instructions that were correct but needed to be followed perfectly that he covers in the video to prevent other people from breaking theirs. But yeah, he got another one of these. I've actually seen these at Target. There's a couple of them there, and they are pretty consistently selling. So I don't know. I don't know if I'll still end up with one of these or not.
Cool, man. And I have to agree on that one. I do see it quite often, and I am tempted. But I don't know. I don't know. I'll see. I'm probably will end up.
I can also see it staying in the box and just being like, I'll get to it.
I'll get to it when I have the time.
Yeah, because I've been working a lot actually on our articulated points Cobra conversions.
Oh, brilliant! I'm excited to see that.
I've been working like crazy already this month on it. It's going to be something. I just hope that I have it done in time.
Oh, mate, I really hope you do. And also, don't worry. Like, you can always put it out after the fact. I'm sure Brian wouldn't mind too much still being linked to Cobra Convergence.
Well, no, we're going to hit that date. It's a commitment. We're going to do it.
Do it. I can't wait. I can't wait. What about next on your shout outs?
Operation Recall is currently funding on Kickstarter.
Yeah, it is absolutely going absolutely crazy. Now, like I said at the start, we were supposed to have Carson on the show yesterday for a stream. We're all ready to rock and roll, and unfortunately something came up that we basically had to kind of postpone it. But we should hopefully be talking to Carson at some point before the project ends. But yeah, we did have like a few little slides we wanted to show on there. Obviously the process of the design through to the actual figure, which was a really cool little graphic that he shared with us. Well, that's on the actual page as well. Obviously these, which you've already seen before, and this like kind of like artwork breakdown, which was really cool as well for Ritello. And also someone mentioned there that Ritello has some backpack straps. Yeah, Mark did. The Ritello backpack straps are pretty cool. Yeah, awesome, man. So, and also obviously the people involved, Carson, Kirk, Ron, and Mark Pennington in that picture right there. Sorry, Mark, that was just me having an absolute brain fart. But yeah, obviously there's even more people involved. We've got Bill Merkline on sculpting. You've got who else is involved? There's more. I know there's more.
From the packaging department. What was his name?
Ed Morrill. Ed Morrill.
Yeah.
Larry obviously is involved, and yeah, it's
packaging department. I guess I should say art.
Yeah,
packaging art.
But an absolute team of legends on this, which is great. So yeah, like the actual campaign is going great guns at the moment. $165,804 pledged, already smashed through the goal. Like comfortably, and still with 29 days to go. So hopefully in that time period we can get to speak to Carson again. But yeah, it's really cool, isn't it, Pat? And you must be excited for another kind of O-ring related success.
Yes, this is all good news for me personally. Like for my own personal greed and what I want in my home and my toys. This is all playing right into what I want.
I could just imagine you like wringing your hands as you said that. But yeah, call sign Longbow as well. That's smashed through everything. Yes. So yeah,
I mean it's a great sign for O-ring stuff, and I really hope that Hasbro is taking note of how well these lines are doing that are new O-ring figures, because I want more. I'm greedy.
Awesome, man. Matt has said to me, by the way, he said if you switch top chat to live chat, it won't jump on you. Unfortunately, Matt, I'm in live chat, and it still does it for me as I'm scrolling. It's so annoying. But thank you for the thank you. I appreciate that. Talking Joe says Naked HD, sexy pinky schminky baby with some emojis. Thank you, Mark, for making us enjoy a bit of Naked HD comments. Sorry, that's usually what it kind of looks like when we get those comments, Pat, in the comment section on YouTube. It's hilarious.
I wouldn't know. I never see Naked HD.
Of course you don't, because you're behind it all. Luke Poulon says, I watched video reviews for Tomac Zaymot Stalker. Did anyone else notice they changed the ball joint for the head? They are now like the Master of the Universe ball joints. I fear it will hinder the head from fully looking up and down. I wasn't aware of that, Luke. Honestly, I'll have to check those when I get Zaymot in. yeah, I'll have a look and see what the situation is, and see like what kind of articulation the heads do have.
Yeah, I'm not sure what he means by like the Masters of the Universe. I thought the Masters of the Universe had like a I thought that it had like a pin on it, like a joint, a full joint there. Oh, I see. I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll have to. I'll have a look at that one and see what the deal is when I get my Zame up very soon. Spoiled baby brother Jake says, "This is a channel for grown men who collect toys." Yes, it is. Although grown men is not the description I would use. Physically, yes. Mentally, probably not. I just like.
I'll never grow up. Never.
We are the Peter Pans of the G.I.
I
Joe
am a Toys R Us kid that outlasted Toys R Us.
that's so depressingly true. Okay, cool. Oh, question. Question if times, anonymous dude. Chris and Patrick, what are your top 3 G.I. Joe characters, including Cobras? For me, 1 Snake Eyes, 2 Storm Shadow, 3 Lowlight, Enjoy Joes. Well, anonymous dude, Pat, I'll let you go first. What are your 3 favorite G.I. Joe characters?
Well, Storm Shadow is a difficult one because I actually loved his turn to the G.I. Joe team. So does he count as a Cobra or does he count as G.I. Joe? He could count as either. And I will just kind of put him in whichever position that allows me to pick 3 on whichever side that I want. So I will say it's probably pretty standard to say Snake Eyes, but Snake Eyes is in my top 3. Ace has always been one of my favorites.
Nice.
I loved the Sky Striker as a kid. Love that toy. So many fond memories of Ace. I'll put Storm Shadow somewhere in the 6 and hold that G.I. Joe spot open. Destro for sure is at the top of my Cobras list. Why don't you pick some, because I've got to think of my others.
I'm going to go with 3 Joes first, and I'm going to go with Storm Shadow version 2 because G.I. Joe, right?
Yeah.
As like contrary to popular belief, everyone's going to think it's going to be Lightfoot and like Tiger Force Hit and Run, but it is actually technically Outback as a character and like version whatever, Tiger Force or regular, and what's my other G.I. Joe? Oh goodness. Flint. So for me, it's Flint, Outback, and version 2 Storm Shadow. They're my Joes, right? For the Cobras, it's Hydro Viper, and then everyone else is just ignored because Hydro Viper is so awesome. I love Hydro Viper so much. I can't explain to you guys how much Hydro Viper just buzzes my berries. But I will have, if I have to give you 2 others, then it's probably Ninja Force Zartan and this is a tough one. I'm going to go with, oh God, I'll come back to that. Back to you, Pat. I'll give my last one after you've done yours.
I'm going to say Flash to finish out my G.I. Joes because I just have way too many good memories of playing with Flash. I think that he represents so much of what the G.I. Joe brand was about, because even in that first year that it was very, very military, they also had somebody in there with a laser gun doing the high-tech few days into the future, a few weeks into the future kind of thing that they talked about. So I really like that figure. And on the Cobra side, Zartan's a big one for me as well. I just love everything about him. So I guess that does it for me, because I've picked Snake Eyes, Ace, and Flash, and Destro, Zartan, and Storm Shadow.
Good shout.
I was going to say Cobra Trooper because he was also my first figure. He just embodies everything that is Cobra to me way more than Viper does.
You see, Flint has that for me because Flint and Quick Kick were my first international heroes.
That makes a lot of sense, actually, for a collector in 1987.
Yeah.
From the UK, yeah, for sure. Flint makes a lot of sense.
Sorry, I've got to post this before I do my last one. Talking Joe says, chat with local Patricks fully clothed in your area. Thank you, Talking Joe, for the filling us in with the... It's like the opposite of naked HD. It's like clothed HD. So I appreciate that, Talking Joe. You're going to have to do that from now on. That'd be great. I agree with Matthew Matson. Talking Joe, you're on fire today, 100%. Okay, right. I can't even think of my last Cobra one. I really am struggling with that. So I'm going to say Road Pig, and I'm going to say Sonic Fighters Road Pig, just to really annoy everyone, because I think that is just the most hilarious deco ever. But you can get a theme with my favorite Cobras. It's very colorful, very vibrant, and very crazy. But Hydro Viper for me, just one of the most beautiful figures of all time, and the artwork from Earl Norham is just outstanding. In fact, a lot of my Road Pig was all Earl Norham, the original Road Pig. What's his name was Earl Norham, Storm Shadow version 2, and the one I just mentioned. And Budo was, Budo was an Earl Norham one. You can tell in a way, like obviously Hector Garrido stuff is gorgeous, but Earl Norham has a real style about him as well. So you can tell an Earl Norham piece from a Hector Garrido piece. I'm not saying one's better than the other. I'm saying you can tell there's a difference between them. But no, I absolutely bloody love Hector Garrido's artwork, Doug Hart's artwork, Earl Norham's artwork. They've done such an amazing job on that vintage line. They will always go down.
The book that Carson has that he's putting together, it's just crazy. Like, I saw like the in progress stuff that he has, and I'm looking forward to getting the Art of G.I. Joe in my hands and being able to dig through that. It's going to be fun. Yeah,
it's going to be a great book to read. Oh my God. It's a 2-person job though. You're like 2 persons to open the cover,
right?
And then you get that end, I'll get this end, and then it's huge, that thing. So yeah, really excited. See, Rachel agrees with me. Thank you, Rachel. Yes to the Hydro Viper. Can't wait for a classified Hydro Viper. You and me both on that one, Rachel. You've got a good taste.
Yeah.
Imagine though as well, like the ability to have the harpoon gun on, like, attached to like the leg. I think it's the lower leg on the artwork. It's not even the thigh, is it?
Yeah, I've always wondered if that was actually intended to be a feature of the figure, but if they had it attached to the figure, it would look good while he's swimming, but probably wouldn't allow him to stand. So maybe they dropped it. I kind of wonder if that was just like a cheat for the art to say, oh, we'll just put that there and feature his awesome hand.
Yeah.
Or, what the deal was with that. And I can only imagine the textures that they'd also be able to pull off at this point.
Oh my God. Could you imagine?
Yeah.
Like, I always thought that the first Cobra Island Trooper, the head, would have been a good one to reuse for a Hydro Viper when you take the helmet off, because it's got the same lines, it's got the same kind of where you'd expect textures and stuff like that. I will fully expect a complete new thing from the ground up though on a Hydro Viper, and I think that's probably why we haven't seen one just yet, because they want to do fully new figures of other characters first. I get it, but I think it's a great opportunity to do something very, very
I would also expect an eel prior to a Hydro Viper.
Yeah, I mean, we've probably seen an eel on the back of the Dr. Mindbender art as well. So I've got a feeling we'll see an eel at some point. Yes, mate. Okay, next up then. Big shout out to all my family, mom and dad, who I'm sure are still watching. Mom's probably zoned out or gone I'm not. Why am I listening to an hour and 20 minutes of this crap? Just kidding. Big shout out to mom and dad. They've actually been in the wars recently, guys. So again, lots of sympathy their way, lots of love their way, lots of hospital visits. Nothing life threatening. Just obviously mom and her wrist, with breaking her wrist and everything. But dad's been going to the blimmin' doctor as well. So get well soon, everybody.
And now that you mentioned that, shout out to my mother as well, who just broke her wrist.
No, what?
Yeah.
What's going on with moms breaking their wrists at the moment?
I don't know. Yeah.
Pat, that's so weird.
It is. Yeah.
Anyway, mom just says thank you. Look, I'll show you. Love you, mom. Get well soon, and dad. Get sorted. We spoke to them before we came on the stream, so love you guys to death. And also shout out to Kent as well, who's having an awful time with his back. What is it with our folks? Everyone's having issues. Get well soon, guys. Love to Valley as well. Love to Drew and Ree and Viv and Vader. Love to all of you guys. And of course to Kate and Phoebes. we went on a little break over the holiday weekend. I hope everyone had a nice holiday weekend, July the 4th, kind of little break on the Monday. We certainly did. That was our little cabin we went to in the middle of nowhere in Maine, and I took a picture of it through that little archway, which I thought was adorable. We got that other picture on the right is obviously the three of us at Height of Land, which is in Maine. And the view was amazing. The picture doesn't do it justice because we're in the way of it. Sorry, guys. But the view was incredible. But we had a great time and had a nice little break. And we basically took Phoebe out to the middle of nowhere so she wouldn't have to deal with the fireworks. And it worked out really well. Unfortunately, she had a little accident trying to jump up onto the bed and then hurt her leg. So she's kind of been a little bit limpy recently. So she's getting better. Don't worry. We took her away to kind of keep her away from fireworks, and she ended up injuring herself in another way. Thanks to all the well wishes to the family, guys. Really appreciate that. And Mom's also saying no, Pat, to your mum breaking her wrist as well.
Unfortunately, I'm telling it's true. Yeah, it stinks,
mate. Well, you got all my love going that way as well, pal. To your mom. Sue still in the house. What an awesome mom! I know. Always, she is our biggest fan. Our biggest fan. I think she's about 80 of the viewers on this show,
and she retains GI Joe information too. So that's the impressive thing to me.
That's how you know. That's how you know your mom is a legend when she knows GI Joe information. Okay, love you, Mom. Love to Dad. Love to the fam. All that good stuff. And lovely love to Kate and Phoebes. Kate's out at the moment doing some shopping, so she's not in, but Phoebe is here. We've already seen her, so we'll move on. While we were in Maine, I took some amazing pictures of Outback and Crocmaster, which were fun. And I recreated his card art. Do you like that, Pat?
Yeah, I noticed that you did that. That's really cool because that card art has actually shown up on some other stuff with like a more detailed background.
Oh so, yeah, it was like a tray, wasn't it? Like a tray,
yeah,
or like a placemat
or something
of
some kind, I think.
Yeah, something. It's like a big square piece of art. It's amazing.
Yeah.
I was really surprised when I found that online. I was like, oh, sweet. Now I can utilize that in all sorts of capacities. But it's beautiful to see the art.
What you were doing, but you pulled it off. I'm kind of wondering how you got the feet to actually grip onto that angle. Did you kind of trick it with the camera a bit?
No. On the right foot, there is. It's not very visible, but there is a ledge that his right foot is on in the rock. Like it's like a little dip. You can almost see like a little shadow behind it. Almost, it's like it's an what you call an optical illusion, basically.
Okay.
But the other foot, I put it down. This is the thing. No word of a lie. I got him into a bit of a position, and then I just went plop, and it just stood there. And I'm like, okay, click, 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 click. Took about 50 pictures of that in different angles, like close up, everything. I wasn't even sure I got the pose right because we didn't have any service at the time, any reception for those in the UK. So I couldn't look at the artwork just to kind of like, get everything in place. I know the bag's probably a little bit further in the middle. I know it's probably slightly different in certain places, but I got it in that position, popped it down, was like, I'm not missing this, and then took a load of pictures. But yeah, you can see the whole picture on the whole picture stream on Hoarder. I posted them all on Hoarder and on the Facebook page and the Twitter page as well, if you guys want to check those out. Anyway, yeah. Anonymous dude, your son, he's talking to my mom, obviously. Your son's show helps make my day. What a lovely thing to say to my mom. Thank you, anonymous dude 123. I'm sorry, Neil, teasing us all with that Outback that 99.9% of us don't have yet. I know that a few people are getting him, but yeah, you're right. It's not fair of me, is it, to keep waving him around in the camera like that?
Yeah, my Crocmaster just showed up yesterday too.
Oh, brilliant! You've got Fiona. Are you going to bust him out?
Yeah, I have not done that yet because of time constraints. I've been busy.
Because you're on this bloody stream when you should be doing that. I will also say though, this is a sad little story based on this. The magazine in his rifle, I think, has been left in Maine by accident. Now, the reason for this, the only reason I can think of, is that when I was putting it all back in the bag very carefully, because I remember seeing it, when I put it back in the bag, I feel like it might have come off as it was going in the bag. And then when I wrapped the bag up, it might have come out there, or it might have come out when I put the bag in the car, but we can't see it in the car. So anyway, I don't have his magazine anymore. So at least there's that, Neil, you can rub in my face. So there you go. Anyway, enough of my woes. I will try and get another magazine for him in some way, shape or form. But for now, I'm without. I know people are like, no, but yeah, that sucks, doesn't it? Anyway, to Brian Sauer for the amazing graphics, mate. Thank you so much. I know you were on the stream earlier and you said, that's me, when I shouted you out at the beginning. But thank you so much for the Chuckles graphics. They're gorgeous. I love them. It's my new favorite graphics. I can't wait to kind of, do more stuff with these. So thank you so much, buddy. Really appreciate all the hard work, the amazing work you do. And also get well soon, because you're coming off the back of a bit of a COVID stretch as well after Joe Fest, I believe, as well. I think a few people caught it, Pat. Did you get away with that?
Oh, I'm clear. Yeah, I tested. I'm fine.
I'm happy for you, but I think a lot of people did come back with it. So get well soon for all of those that got it, and yourself, Brian, and thank you very much, buddy. To Nick at In Demand Toys, there's a picture of him as well, licking my Zaymot Powley classified figure that's on its way to me. So I've got Zaymot coming, but no Tomax. I know you're probably all thinking, well, first world problems, mate. But anyway, that's a big shout out to Nick and the guys at In Demand Toys. You do amazing work and you get me my figures, so thank you very much. There's Zaymot. He looks pretty cool, actually. I can't wait to get him. Anyway, thank you, Nick. And to all of our viewers, listeners, everything, patrons, everybody, for all the great comments that you leave us. We absolutely love all of the interactivity. Pat, as well, mate, thank you for jumping on, dude.
Yeah, thanks for having me on again. It's always fun. This is a good time today. We started off with a lot of laughs. It's fun.
That's what we need to do. We need to be lolling before we go into the events, because it always makes for a better show, definitely. Guys, it's been a pleasure. We'll see you on, the two of us will see you on the next one. Pat, would you be up for maybe, because I've got graphics now, for a double Newsburst live stream setup with your name on it. So maybe if anything happens in the week, I'll keep you abreast if you're available. Okay. Maybe we could go twos up on a Newsburst.
Okay, sounds fun.
Awesome. If you don't see Pat before then, you'll see him on next week's show, hopefully. Yep. Guys, just basically leaves us to do the last thing as Kate comes in from her shopping, and Phoebe didn't bark. That's incredible. Good girl, Phoebe. Good girl. Well, there we go, guys. Like I said, after 3, you know what to do. 1, 2, 3.
Full force.
Amazing. See ya. Wave, Pat.
Bye.
Make sure you get involved with the discussion by liking, sharing and commenting on these videos, and as always you can keep up with the show after listening by following on Twitter @TheFullForce, liking the Facebook page facebook.com/TheFullForce, and if you would like to contact the show you can message us on either of those platforms with feedback and questions. We also have a Patreon page, so if you want to show your support for the show, see your name up in lights on these videos, or enjoy exclusive bonus content, then check out patreon.com/TheFullForce podcast, or click on the link on any of the posts this podcast appears in. Full Force.